Oh, a little off throttle oversteer. Yes, yes. All right, guys, it's time to answer the question you asked most during our K-Swap NC Miata build, and that is, why didn't we go with the 2.5 liter swap? It's cheap and easy to do, and it turns out it's also cheap and easy to find one for today's track test battle here at Toronto Motorsports Park. And here is the engine bay of our K-Swap NC, and man, what a clean engine bay it is, and what a great swap. I mean, it's relatively easy to do, but it is not inexpensive, as you guys would have seen. It's around $12,000 to do this swap, but it is completely turnkey from intake to exhaust tip at that price point, and it does make really good power. And K24s are obviously abundant, they're not hard to find, and they're relatively cheap if you were to pop one, but ours made $215 at the wheel. And if you jump over to the 2.5 swapped car, these are like Ford Fusion, Mazda 3, I think even in like the Mazda 5. They're very common, and they're very inexpensive, and the swap itself is cheap and easy to do because it uses like all the factory Mazda stuff. It just drops in there. You could do this swap in 2 or 3 days, probably in your home garage. And James, the owner of this car, also did some upgrades to it, like a lot of people would do during the swap process. So he put a new XD clutch in it. He put the Brian Crowler Stage 2 cams in it, which does bump power up into like the 170 to 180 wheel range. And he also put an S2000 header on it, which I think is quite a unique approach. But as you can see, it's got like the stock intake. It looks very stock in here. And he figures he's about $5,000 into this swap. James, the owner, has set this car up for autocross. And as an engineer and an autocrosser, you know he's going to fit as much wheel and tire under there as he can. So these are Koenigs with a 255 Nankang CRS, which is a very sticky 200 tread wear tire. So he's got a slightly bigger tire package than us and probably a slightly stickier compound as well. It's also on Meister R coilovers, which are a very reputable brand out of Europe for Miatas. And James is a big fan of them. He's run them on both of his Miatas. So the car is definitely set up for maximum grip. Inside, you can see it is all stock, but it is worth noting that it has the 6-speed manual gearbox. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this car accelerates compared to our 5-speed equipped car. Obviously, the powertrains are going to play a role there too, but he does have the obligatory roll bar, and the most genius mod I've ever seen. He's got the foam koozie here cut so that it covers the hard part of the cup holder on the door, which you smash your knee on when you're driving these cars aggressively. So top marks to James on that one. So with that walk around of both cars complete, we are going to do lap times in them both, and then we're going to do roll races in them both to give you guys a better sense of how the two cars compare. All right, fellas, here we are in James's NC1 with the 2.5 swap, and the 6-speed definitely is going to change where I'm shifting or where I'm used to shifting. The 2.5 actually feels pretty spicy. I wonder if part of that is just the open air experience and the fact that there's a greater sensation of speed with the top down, but let's see how it feels rolling it in, a bit of speed into turn 1 here. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Yeah, I'm in 4th gear already, where in the other car you'll see I'm barely using 4th gear. Let's see how it likes the curbs here. Oh yeah. Oh, those coilovers take it no problem. Oh, a little off throttle oversteer. Yes, yes. Got it set up nice. Again, little drop throttle oversteer here. Yep. Little here as well. Oh yeah, this car's playful. James is an engineer, and he clearly set it up very nicely for autocrossing, which should work well here because this is a pretty tight and technical road course where you do a lot of, tight turns. So I think an autocross setup car should work quite well here. I don't know if I need to go down to 2nd through here, or do I leave it in 3rd? It's a pretty torquey motor, so 3rd gear, like you can still hear them working the tires. So yeah, I think 3rd gear through there might be the way. Ooh, not sure what brake pads he has, but they were working well. Oh yeah, big slide there. That's gonna happen in a Miata. They are short wheelbase cars, they will slide around, but as long as you feel it
They're really very easy to catch. All right, throttle on, yes. Nice controlled drifts there. All right, using all the track. I'm gonna run out of revs coming out of here in second gear, but nice little slide there, that was good. Starting to get a feel for this car, and it's got a lot of mechanical grip. Does pick up some understeer though, if you don't get it rotated early. I'm gonna leave it in third here and see how it likes that. Fun car, guys, what a fun car.
There you go, guys, a couple of hot laps in this 2.5 swapped NC, and what a blast this thing is. It has a ton of grip, which should come as no surprise given just how much wheel and tires fit under it, but that 2.5 actually surprised me. I thought, you know, having read about it and having experienced one before, that it was gonna be quite underwhelming, feel a little basic and agricultural, sound kind of crummy. But in this car, with the top down, it felt surprisingly spicy. It has really good torque. It's revving out to 7,000 RPM, which works well with this 6-speed gearbox. I was, a couple of spots I was having to use, you know, second for like a couple seconds, then go to third. Probably could have just left it in third in those spots because it's a torquey enough engine to deal with that. But what a great example of like a 2.5 swapped NC with all the right supporting mods on it to go fast around a road course or dodging pylons. So the lap time on it was good. It was actually better than I was expecting because we have non-optimal track conditions. It might look good on camera, but we had heavy rain here last night. So the track is washed clean and it's not very grippy right now. But once I got some heat in those tires, they were pretty darn quick.
And now for a slightly spicier version of the NC, we've got K-Power, boys. We got 8,000 RPM. We've got an extra 35 wheel maybe. It's a lot more horsepower, but it isn't going to be as grippy as James's car. I'm already sliding in turn 1 here, and that's because we're on a 245, not a 255, and these Continentals are an endurance tire. They're not a super 200 the way those Nankangs are, which are really designed for, you know, absolute maximum lap times, where these are designed for longevity. So we're spotting that car quite a lot of grip, but I think the horsepower will probably be enough to overcome that, but we're gonna find out. All right. Oh, bouncing the rev limiter already. That's part of the problem with this tax situation, but as you can see, I barely need fourth on the front straight here. We could really benefit from that Walter 5.1 final drive with this 5-speed gearbox, because we're just using third gear like an absolute savage here. You guessing I am rubbing tire because we are a little bit too hot boy on the ride height, but we'll just pretend that's not happening. Come on, baby. It certainly gives you that K-Series sound and experience with the RPM. It feels quite a lot spicier than the 2.5. And I'm definitely working harder for my money here because I am sliding around a lot more, but it's fun.
And there you have it, everyone. Yes, the K is significantly spicier. That extra 1,000 RPM and the sound that it makes is awesome. And obviously the extra, let's call it 30 wheel horsepower, does make a difference in a straight line. You can certainly feel it, but it is also a less grippy car. We are on an endurance spec 200 tread wear tire and a 245, and James is on a, what people call a super 200 or a really sticky 200 that's designed to like light up and work really well for a lap or two and then drop off. These we could lap on all day and my lap times would be very consistent, but they're just not quite as quick as those. The other thing you would have noticed in the K-swapped car is that I'm in third gear a lot, and that's because of the 5-speed and the stock rear end. It's geared too long, especially for this racetrack. But all the 5-speed guys with K-swaps say to go to that Walter 5.1 final drive in the rear end, which we'll do if we continue to develop this car. So the gearing in the 6-speed with the 2.5 is actually a much better fit for this track, and the gear spacing is just more natural. Third gear is just too long and too overused in this current setup. So K-swap guys, I would say get the 5.1 final drive if you're 5-speed, or do the 6-speed swap like we had initially thought we might do. And as for the lap times, they were actually very close. The 2.5 swapped car went a 1:22.5, which actually surprised me. It's a very good lap time around here, especially in these conditions. And our K-swap car did a 1:21.7, which is actually a little over a second over the best lap time I've done in this car. But like I mentioned earlier, the track is really green today. However, there's more to it than just lap times, isn't there, everyone? So why don't we do our roll races and see how the two compare there.
All right, we got PT in the 2.5 car and I am in the K car because I like an easy win. And actually, I think it's going to be closer than it might have first seemed like it would be. Anyway, we're going to match speeds up to that cone and then we're going to make a pull. So you ready, PT? All right, here we go. Pretty good.
All right, everybody, here we go. Let's go. Let's roll out here. We're gonna keep this thing in first gear. Let's see how this goes here. And we are off. Missed the shift there. Bounce rev limiter. Oh, come on. I got the shift right, but I clutched in. Oh boy. All right, well, that was a bit of a meh run, but it certainly was close there for a second, so we'll just go to redoing that right away.
Okay, he did better there. And then I walk him a bit in the top end here, but that's a lot closer. Definitely a lot closer. That's a more representative run, obviously.
Here we go, and we are off. Yeah. Well, it's not that bad.
As you guys just saw, K is certainly the way if you want to win a drag race against a 2.5 swapped NC, but nobody's drag racing these cars, are they? These are really autocross cars, track day cars, and they're both a ton of fun. I would have no problem at all taking James's 2.5 car out to a time attack event or autocross event, and I would have the time of my life. The K-swap car does certainly spice things up. It does give the car that extra, let's say 30, 35 wheel horsepower and that extra 1,000 or so RPM. So it does feel racier in that sense. And it's also louder. You know, James has a very quiet exhaust on his car. You could change that, but the K24 definitely gives you more of a, dare I say, like motorsports vibe. But they're both a ton of fun. And really it comes down to like, what's your budget to build an NC? Because you get yourself a cheap NC1 and you put a cheap 2.5 in it, and you're very close on lap times to this, and you're having a lot of fun. So it does make a very compelling argument on value, but if you're super competitive and you're building a car for a class, say like Grid Life Club TR, then you're gonna need a K-swapped NC because that 2.5 is just not gonna hang. If you can afford to go K, I would certainly do it because it does really spice up the experience. But like I said, the 2.5 is also a lot of fun and does offer a lot of bang for the buck. Since MIATA is always the answer, we do have one more question to ask, and that is, what about an ND2? Very similar price to build one of these compared to our K-swapped NC. So we are going to give you another track battle comparing those two cars, and you might even see the 2.5 make an appearance in that episode too. You're gonna have to stay tuned to find out. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. We hope you enjoyed this. Do subscribe and hit the like button if you're all about the K-swap to MIATA or the 2.5 swap MIATA or the ND2. Let us know what your favorites are in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next one.